I would expect probably the next major resistance area, in the low 6,000s. Look, I think gold is going up, probably into around 2032. I mean, you're going to have, oscillations back and forth, but oil can still go and eventually even test the 200 area. Um, Gasoline, I would not rule out reaching 9 in the years ahead. I mean, we're in a real mess here. Um, I mean, nobody would really listen to me. I would warn them. This is not one you want to pick with.
According to Martin Armstrong, a longtime market analyst known for his research into economic cycles and capital flows, markets often reveal the future before it becomes obvious to the public. Drawing on decades of historical data, Armstrong argues that capital migration is one of the most powerful forces shaping the global economy. In his view, understanding where money is flowing can provide valuable insight into future economic trends, political developments, and investment opportunities. Armstrong believes the world is entering a period of increasing uncertainty, marked by rising government debt, geopolitical tensions, and structural weaknesses within the global financial system. He argues that these pressures could trigger significant shifts across currencies, stocks, commodities, and precious metals. While short-term volatility remains likely, Armstrong suggests that investors should focus on the larger cycle that may be unfolding beneath the surface. Before we continue to discuss this, please subscribe to our channel and activate the bell icon for timely updates. Thank you and enjoy the video.
Well, what also comes out of the Gulf is sulfuric acid. You need sulfuric acid to mine copper. So, I mean, then cutting off the energy, I can tell you, from our offices in Thailand, there's no gasoline. They couldn't even get gasoline for a motorbike. All right. However, that also applied to diesel. What happened with the diesel is you need diesel for the fishing fleet. No diesel, no food. So it ripples across so many different areas. I mean, look, I think gold is going up, probably into around 2032. I mean, you're going to have, oscillations back and forth, but, I would expect probably the next major resistance area, in the low 6,000s. Oil can still go, and eventually even test the 200 area. Gasoline, I would not rule out reaching 9 in the years ahead. I mean, we're in a real mess here. I mean, nobody would really listen to me. I would warn them. This is not one you want to pick with. On top of that, you have the cables that are connecting the banking system of the world, east to west. And they were laid where? At the bottom of the Hormuz. All right. I warned them. I said, if I was them, I would have sent divers down, put some, charges on it. Give me any shit. I push the button. I mean, they have a lot more leverage than people expected. And I think if you look at the litany, it's almost verbatim for Iraq. Dick Cheney saying, oh, this will be just weeks, not months, 8 years. They always say the same thing. Forecasting war back in the 80s. Like I've told you before, the Central Bank of Lebanon had called me in and they had data. And they wanted to ask if we could do a model in the Lebanese pound. So we did. And out came is, I said, your country's going to fall apart in 8 days. I said, something's got to be wrong with this data. And very calmly, they then said, what currency does it recommend? I said, well, the Swiss franc. That's very strange. And 8 days later, civil war began. Then I came to realize they already saw the capital flows. So they were coming to me not for that forecast, but for the timing. And then we had a major Saudi client, was one of the biggest in shipping. And he calls and says, Iraq's going to start attacking shipping in the Gulf tomorrow. What do you think gold's going to do? I said, you tell me a war's going to start tomorrow? Yeah. What do you think? So over the years, I've learned that somebody always knows in advance. And that's what the computer picks up. So even the October 7th Hamas attack, all the defense stocks started moving up a week before. So, I don't give a shit who it is. I mean, the SEC used our stuff on 9/11. They were looking for who bought puts on airlines a few days before. It's just the way it is. The terrorists were doing it.
According to Martin Armstrong, growing geopolitical uncertainty is becoming increasingly connected across the world. As tensions rise, concerns about government debt, currency stability, and the future of the global financial system are also growing. This is one reason why gold remains an important part of the discussion. Armstrong has maintained a positive long-term outlook on gold, arguing that increasing uncertainty and weakening confidence in traditional institutions could continue driving demand for the metal for years to come. During periods of war, financial instability, and major economic transitions, investors have often turned to gold as a store of value and a form of protection. Now, let's get back to the interview.
I believe Russia and China are now coming to support Iran more because of this. So it's just getting very, very interesting. I mean, actually, after this show, I got to do an interview on Russian TV. So I like to, people say, "Are you on Russian?" I say, "Yes." I'd like to at least hear the questions, But look, this is a tough time where too many people are fooling around, got their finger in the pie here, and I don't think they understand. My sense of this, dealing with a lot of these people, it's been largely that they assume we have the largest military. Therefore, we automatically win. And that's just not the case. Persia did, the Greeks defeated them. When the Greeks had the biggest, Rome defeated them. I mean, this is, Carthage was the biggest. They were defeated by Rome. I mean, it doesn't mean that just because you have the biggest, you automatically win. History just says that is just a false assumption. So Trump is trying to back out of Taiwan. I don't know what was truly in the press. At the same time, you have Macron wanting to be the leader of Europe. He flew over to meet with Xi before Trump. And my sources said that he flat outright said that Europe will no longer participate in any war other than European territory, them versus Russia. And so they will not participate in defending Taiwan. So when Trump got there, that's why Zhang was pushing him on that issue. Trump, I think, is trying to get out of that. When he did leave, he did make a public statement. He recommended the chip companies move, set up offices in the United States. Um, and I mean, I'll tell you what I warned these people about. I said, if I was on the other side of the table, I'm going to use Iran as to drain all your resources. The same way we used Ukraine on Russia. And then when you're occupied, Russia goes after the rest of Ukraine. Taiwan is taken by China, and North Korea goes into the south. I said, what the hell are you going to do then? Are you going to fight on four fronts? And they just kind of look at me like, oh, that would never happen. I said, really? I wouldn't count on it.
Martin Armstrong argues that markets frequently pick up early warning signs of future events. He points to examples where defense stocks moved higher before major geopolitical incidents and where unusual trading activity appeared before significant attacks. His view is that while most people focus on the news after an event happens, professional investors often move their money beforehand. As a result, market trends can sometimes provide clues about what may be coming next. The discussion then shifts to the broader economic impact of geopolitical conflicts. Armstrong explains that modern economies are deeply interconnected, meaning disruptions in one area can quickly spread to others. He uses energy as an example. If oil supplies are interrupted, the effects go far beyond higher fuel prices. Transportation becomes more expensive, food production can be affected, and entire industries may face rising costs. Because of these growing risks, Armstrong remains positive on gold over the long term. He believes that rising geopolitical tensions, government debt problems, and instability in the global financial system could continue supporting demand for gold for many years. While he expects periods of volatility and temporary declines, he sees the overall trend remaining upward as investors seek assets they believe can preserve value during uncertain times. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.